Hey guys, Martin here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and so today we are going to be taking a look at the current standing of the Giant Ape Power team, because of course this team has received a multitude of buffs, with the beginning of the anniversary of course releasing the Super Saiyan 3 to Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and now we have the 7-year LRs with their EZA. We have the Tech Great Ape Vegeta, who actually of course came before them with his EZA, as a very good slot 1 unit that the team definitely needed. But the thing with the team is it is definitely lacking. Oh, we're missing out on a key for Vegeta, that sucks. The team is definitely still lacking in some places, right? The funny thing is Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is kind of aged out a bit now, but with the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, especially once he's transformed, giving him that extra defense and damage reduction, he can be somewhat viable for some of these events. Not so much as like a slot 1 unit anymore, but obviously once he's got his super attacks off, still got a decent bit of damage reduction. But obviously the big thing is the team really needs a few more pieces in order to fill those final slots, right? So we're doing the Vegeta Family Red Zone, the Majin Buu Saga stage, because it's not the hardest of the stages, so I feel like the weaker units on the team will still be able to like just about hang in there, because we are using the Super Saiyan 4 Gohan from the Heroes, who he does have damage reduction built in, but he gets a lot of his defense on Super. Honestly, not long after his release, he kind of aged out of being a unit that you could really get away with using in slot 1, but he is scheduled to EZA this year. Him and the Super Saiyan 4 Bardock should be getting their EZAs along with the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So if those guys get good EZAs, which, you know, Heroes EZA is kind of hit and miss when it came to the ones from this recent year. In terms of the ones that were really top tier, we had Meki Cabra, and then like God Trunks was a bit shaky, Pan still very much dodge or die for difficult content. So we're kind of we're asking a lot to rely on the Heroes EZAs to be good, but it is definitely a thing that could happen. Unfortunately, the key on this turn is really bad. You will get key when you get hit, but not enough. Fortunately, I guess it doesn't really matter because we're going to kill him this turn anyway. That's the problem with this first phase. Kui gives the allies, I think it's like -5 key or something, so makes it a little bit harder for them to get their attacks off. But Tech Great Ape Vegeta, obviously a massive buff for this team, what with having the slot 1 capability, being one of the strongest slot 1 tanks in the game now. And of course, if you're running the double Super Saiyan 3 Goku leads, not only are we of course on a 220% lead team, but it means we have 2 of him on the team, so we can keep him on rotation as a slot 2 unit. He has that 70% chance to dodge, so you can see there him dodging the super. And then of course once we get them transformed into the Super Saiyan 4 state, then he's giving everyone extra defense and damage reduction, and then the 44% buff for 2 turns on Super, which of course if we have 2 of them means a significant amount of buffing going on. So you can see the Super Saiyan 4s here on their 2nd turn with that defensive support from Goku and the little bit of support from physical Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. They're at 1.3 million defense on the start of their 2nd turn, which is kind of crazy. Really bad orbs here though. Only 1 key for them, but I mean, it's not going to matter too much because fortunately they made them greatly stack attack and defense on both their super attacks. So even though we're only going to get a 12 key super off here, they're still going to get another greatly raise for their attack and defense. So of course, obviously the 7-year EZAs and then the Goku kind of hard carrying the team. Tech Giant Ape Vegeta as well to a certain extent, right, with his slot 1 tanking. He's obviously not doing a lot of damage, but having a good slot 1 tank is obviously very important for the team, especially for these harder stages. But I picked this stage because I thought it would be decent to do for this team. I thought they could just about manage with the weaker units. Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, the physical one, is kind of not really usable as much anymore. His post-super defense is okay, but obviously he's going to be mega buffed by having the Goku around, same as the Tech Vegeta is. Can we... Oh, we can't Great Ape yet. I forget that this Goku has the orb changing, which really sucks. We do have... Goku has 70% chance to dodge. But Vegito does still have the damage reduction. He's got, what, 60% is it currently during his buff? Yeah, all allies in the same turn with Giant Ape Power. So he's got 60% damage reduction. but he's only got like 300k defense start of turn. Mine is built for full dodge, or it's like, do we take the risk and have Goku get the 70% dodge, hopefully? I guess we'll give that a try, and then we'll do this for you. Shame we're not on lower HP, because obviously getting the early transformation for Goku is really, really good. 177k. Oof. Well, he didn't dodge either of those, so rotation locking definitely a pain for this team, considering it really is only the Tech Great Ape Vegeta and then the LR Super Saiyan 4s that can go in slot 1. So obviously not only did I want to show off this team in this video and check in on how the team is looking with some of these updates from the anniversary, but of course I put out the video earlier today speculating about some of the EZAs that we could maybe see upcoming in the EX part. And a lot of those are going to be huge buffs to this team, right? If we do get the physical GT Goku and the Int GT Vegeta, those guys would obviously go straight on the team, like instead of the Heroes units. And those guys, I mean, they're already very, very good units, like on release. Their base kit is really good. So their EZAs, obviously we don't want to jinx anything here, but I feel like it'd be really hard for their EZAs to be bad. As long as they're, you know, updated to be relevant in the meta. They don't need to give them loads of crazy abilities or anything is what I mean. But like as long as they're, you know, post-super, they're tanking all these... Ooh, okay, this is actually a good turn. I guess what we probably want to do here is we can leave them in the middle, but we want Goku in the front. So if we just go ahead and transform now, because we want to start getting the Super Saiyan 4 Goku buffs going on. I don't want to do too much damage, so I'm not going to pick up too many orbs here with the Giant Ape, because the Giant Ape gets a bunch of extra ki. There we go. Because I want the Super Saiyan 4s, obviously, to be able to get their stacks. I don't think we need to transform them here straight away. Get some more stacks off of them and maybe transform them into Gogeta in the next turn. See how crazy we can build these guys up. But this obviously does help quite significantly now with the team. You got to get the Super Saiyan 4 Goku out so we can start getting some buffs. The funny thing is using the Int LR full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku overlay, but he's not on the team because he's a bit of a liability. Like, you can't really go slot 1, and then if you don't put him in slot 1, you're missing out on a bunch of extra defense and damage reduction. You can probably still get away with it with the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku out with the extra damage reduction and defense, but the problem is with the team is that you don't have Super Saiyan 4 Goku out straight away. And whilst the Super Saiyan 3 is giving 50% defense support to Power Beyond Super Saiyan, not specifically Giant Ape Power though, so that means characters like the GT Super Saiyans if they EZA and Tech Great Ape Vegeta, they are not on Power Beyond Super Saiyan, right? Because the GT Super Saiyans are just Super Saiyan 1, but they have Giant Ape Power category, and the Tech Great Ape Vegeta is just a base Vegeta with the Great Ape ability, so they would not be actually being supported by the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He would give characters like the Int LR full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku the 50% defense, but it's that once you've transformed, not only are you getting 70% defense, but the extra 10% damage reduction is quite a lot as well. I should have moved those guys into the front. Of course, the thing I completely forgot is that after the Great Ape mode is over, they're not going to be, the attacks aren't all going to be in the same place, are they? So I should have put them in the middle, because it means Super Saiyan 4 Goku, now that he's transformed, is probably just going to kill, and we're not going to get any stacks. Also, apparently he didn't super during the Giant Ape, so now I'm dead. No! Right, so we are back. I guess I should have thought about a rotation locking event being a pretty big weakness for this team. We've managed to get through this time relatively well. Both the Gokus got locked in slot 3 2 turns in a row, which was fine because they weren't going to be our slot 1 units anyway. So it does mean we've ended up with a rotation here where we don't have Goku, but at least we have our Vegeta able to tank in slot 1. Obviously on this event, it's kind of a little unfair boost, I suppose, because we do have a phase where we have a Goku enemy, so we get to have the big extra buff for Tech Great Ape Vegeta now, but it's a key and attack buff, so in other events, he's still going to serve his purpose as a defensive unit on this team. Obviously, yeah, he's going to be, for the rest of the run, doing a little bit more attack, having that little bit of extra ki, which we're not always going to get in every event, but it is what it is. So, I can't remember exactly what I was saying when we got blasted by Goku in that last bit there, but the big thing about the the future for the EX part, right? The future EZAs. So we've got the GT Super Saiyans, already mentioned them. And then the big thing that I have seen people speculating that I mentioned in the video I put up earlier today is obviously the possibility that we could see the EZAs, the Super EZAs, for the 2nd anniversary Super Saiyan 4s. Now, it does seem a bit random because there's nothing in terms of any hints that we really know of to suggest that they would be getting a Super EZA. It's just the main thing that when someone brought it to my attention that I thought was quite interesting, and I did explain it in that video, so if you've already seen it, let me know what you think of the theory down below in the comments. But obviously the anniversary LRs from the 3rd anniversary onwards got those special buffs before the anniversary and made them usable again. The 3 years, the 4 years, then the 5 years. The 6 years didn't because they already had EZAs and were still very meta relevant. And then obviously the 7 years hadn't had their EZAs yet, but we kind of knew they were upcoming. So the 1st year units didn't get EZAs, Super Gogeta and Janemba, and they both EZA'd during the celebration. So that leaves the 2nd year units, the STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and AGL Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and of course the TURs. It was from the 3rd anniversary onwards that the anniversary units became LRs. And those guys didn't get a temporary buff before the anniversary, haven't had a Super EZA. Like they've been units that if you've had them since around that time, right, the 2nd year, 8 years ago, they've been kind of sat in the box since they got their actual EZA, right? When they first got EZA'd, when the 120 lead EZAs started coming out. So they've kind of been long forgotten, and it would be very cool for them to get their Super EZAs, because obviously with the temporary buff from the pre-anniversary stuff gone now, it's not like the 4-year Super Saiyan 4s are usable really anymore. So I'm going to be greedy and go for more stacks here with the Super Saiyan 4s, because now that we've got 2.2 million defense, and obviously they have 10% damage reduction because of Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, having that, it might not seem like a lot, but 10% damage reduction is really, really good, especially for the characters that already have it, right? So we're talking about Int Gohan, who's going to get his EZA this year. He has 50% damage reduction. So with Goku on rotation, it becomes 60%, which, like another 10% on top of that, is a pretty significant amount. When he gets his EZA, if that damage reduction in his passive increases at all, then it just means he's going to be even more effective with Super Saiyan 4 Goku on the team. And then remember, Super Saiyan 4 Bardock, he doesn't really get used because his defense was kind of all dodge related, but he could end up becoming a unit that's like a really hard hitter. Still could potentially rely on dodge, but maybe they throw him some sort of like guard or a little bit of damage reduction if he has the Giant Ape Power allies, something like that, which would obviously help him out for this team. And then of course the limit breakers, like the Goku is going to be the one that will be the hardest to fit into the team, unfortunately, because his allies need to be heroes or full power. But for the Vegeta, the allies just need to be heroes or Giant Ape Power, so he can slot into the team nicely, and he gets buffed by having an ally whose name includes Goku, which obviously we're going to have the Super Saiyan 3 Goku as the leader. So as long as the physical Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Vegeta's EZA is good, he should fit on the team really nicely as well. And then Goku, the possibility is there, depending on the team build. But obviously my hope would be that with their EZAs, they just take away those restrictions so that then we don't have to worry about the hero. Like, just get rid of them completely, right? Because whilst it may be, you know, too much wishful thinking to assume that they could get rid of these restrictions completely, the thing you have to remember is we're going to get these heroes EZAs. We don't know when. Are they going to keep it to November because that's when the heroes celebrations used to be? Who knows? It seems kind of dumb to EZA a character, and when you're doing their EZA, which essentially means you can rewrite their passive in any way you want, to still keep them with a restriction that they have to be run with other heroes units, now that you're not going to be releasing any other new heroes units. Like, there's sure the old ones are still getting their EZAs, but it just seems really weird to, like, why give any of the ones that are getting EZAs a heroes restriction? So they might not take it away completely, but the best thing that they could do is, because Goku has full power and Vegeta has Giant Ape Power for the allies that they need other than heroes, is just give them both. So they both have full power and Giant Ape Power, because then both of them would be runnable on either of those teams. Goku would then work perfectly well on this team. And then really they just need to expand on what they sort of seemed to be designed to do when they came out, because when they were released, it looked like when you looked at their kits, it was like, okay, well, Goku's supposed to go in slot 1, and then Vegeta goes in slot 2, because Goku has the damage reduction and stuff, but Goku's defense wasn't good enough to be in slot 1, and then as soon as events got slightly harder, he was just completely, like, not usable in slot 1 at all. So what would be really nice for their EZAs if they do expand on that kind of blueprint and just actually make Goku a really good tanky slot 1 unit, because he has to get hit, was it 7 times to get his full passive build up? So maybe lower that number down a little bit as well, but make him a unit that can actually go slot 1. And then yeah, those 4 heroes units, huge buffs to the team. The GT Super Saiyans will be great buffs to the team, because even though they're just in Super Saiyan and they don't actually have Giant Ape transformations, I don't think they have the Saiyan Raw link either, but they're on Giant Ape Power, so they'd still be useful for the team. They're orb changers. I mean, realistically, if you want to have the Super Saiyan 4s together with like this Goku, the Year 7 LRs, so you want to have the Saiyan Raw link active, those GT Super Saiyan units could end up just being really good floaters for the team, because they could do really good damage, be solid defensively, they're doing a bit of orb changing, like, they could be really, really good. So the Giant Ape Power team does have the potential to be really, really strong by the end of the anniversary. And then, of course, right, the big thing, the Daima stuff, right? Like, I'm trying to avoid going into, like, really heavy spoilers in some of the videos, but I mean, at this point, right, we're on the day of recording this. I know the final episode of Daima is going to come out tomorrow. We're already 2 weeks removed from the initial reveal, right, that got everybody talking. We know, basically, all I'm going to say is, if you know, you know, but we are going to be getting even more Giant Ape Power buffs, like, coming soon, right? So, look at this, 3.4 million. This is absolutely ridiculous. I think what we'll do here is we'll transform them now, because even though it's kind of a waste of that 1 turn 77% damage reduction, I'm going to do it because it means we're going to get the massively raised attack, and actually we're not, because he's going to kill him with the counter. Of course he's supering in slot 1, typical. So yeah, I was going to say we'll get the massively raised here, so then when we see him come back on the next turn, he's going to have even more increased attack and defense. But look at that, 26 million attack stat counter for Gogeta. Like, what an absolute monster. But yes, big super buffs incoming. It's going to be very, very cool. Super buffs, did I say? Giant Ape Power buffs because of Daima. Getting Daima and Super confused somehow. Oh boy. So yeah, very much looking forward to the potential future for this team. Lots of EZAs that we could be seeing, the hero stuff. Like, there's going to be a lot going on that could make this team. I don't necessarily want to say top tier, but I mean, it could be. Like, with a lot of people consider this Tech EZA Giant Ape Vegeta to be one of the best units in the game now, at least in terms of defensive. Like, I've seen people saying that he is easily top 10, and even some people saying he could be top 5, which I don't know about that now that the 7 years are out. I guess I saw people saying that before they got their EZAs, I think. But you've got him, you've got the 7 years who are easily like top 5. AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I'm not sure where he would be in a current top 10 LR's list, but he definitely is in the top 10. So you've got the real cornerstones of that team that are available now, who are some of the best units in the game. So all it really needs is these EZAs, and then yeah, this team could be one of the top tier teams in the game. Probably not going to be the best, because obviously the best team is the one where you can have the 10th anniversary LRs and the 7th anniversary LRs, but Giant Ape Power definitely has a shot at being one of the best teams in the game. Obviously this build that we have to run now, like against some of the tougher bosses, Super Saiyan 4 Gohan easily could get caught. Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, even after supering, his raw defense is decent, and obviously bolstered by Super Saiyan 4 Goku with the defense and damage reduction, he can be really solid. But if we go up against some of these tougher bosses, like if he doesn't counter the super, that's going to be a lot of damage, and even some normal attacks, to be fair, could be doing a lot of damage to him. But you know, he can be replaced once these EZAs come out, and then we have the potential for some real craziness could be going on. So unfortunately we didn't get to super with this guy, so he's still, unfortunately, he's only at 3.2 million defense for the start of the turn. How unfortunate. But we can go ahead and get a little bit of extra damage in here with you. Having Limit Breaker Vegito as a floater works relatively well, though obviously on this turn he doesn't have his damage reduction anymore. He still has the little bit from his base, right? He has 30%. But yeah, 52 million attack stat from Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta here. which is also a also an action break, of course. Well, he's not supering this turn. Damn. Bro didn't want to face the wrath of the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta counter. But his secondary super, basically 40 million. And then we get another one here, which is 42. So that's what, about 130 million attack stat worth of attacks here so far. Getting these big crits, unable to attack, and then will these guys finish him off here? I mean, Goku can do some pretty solid damage, and then Limit Breaker Vegito. He's no slouch. Obviously, he's not on the level of these guys in terms of the damage output that they are contributing here. But yeah, Goku gets the crit, does get the additional. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the Giant Ape Power team down below in the comment section. It is one of those teams, unfortunately, that is sort of rarely going to get buffs because it's only really specific characters, although there's some other easy A's, I guess, in the future at some point. I don't know how whether I would put any stock in them actually being good, but remember, there's like the whole Team Bardock Giant Ape versions. Those units are super old and don't have easy A's. I don't have any real sort of hope that they would make them really good because they're just random banner units, not like Dokkan Fest or anything. But I guess we do also have Int Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who should be due an easy A as well. I think he's almost as old as the GT Super Saiyans. Or did they come out before him? Or maybe that was only for Global because of that Golden Week that the GT Super Saiyans came out was the first time Golden Week was on Global and JP at the same time. But yeah, there's definitely a few interesting things on the horizon for this team, which I think could certainly be quite fun. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. How do you feel about the way the Giant Ape Power team is looking? Like I say, at the moment it's tough because throwing Gogeta and Vegito on there, they were kind of the best picks I could think of from what we had left, because like the 4-year LR is not really usable anymore. The GT Super Saiyans without an easy A, not really usable. Characters like LR Baby doesn't really fit into the team. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think. But we finish off Kid Buu here with Super Saiyan 4 Goku, ending the run successfully. I mean, hey, it might not be the hardest stage, but that is one of the new Red Zone stages from the anniversary, beaten with the Giant Ape Power team. So, you know, it's certainly a fun team to use. I'm a big fan of the form for Super Saiyan 4, regardless of how I feel about GT. So being able to run like basically a full Super Saiyan 4 team. Obviously, Giant Ape Vegeta's there because he's such a great slot 1 unit. But yeah, super good team. So let me know what you guys think. What do you most want to see to buff the Giant Ape Power team? Let me know all of that down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.